Oh, how you going? This is the go-kart that we've made over the last 8 weeks. I suppose it's taken about 60, 70 hours all up to build it. A lot of time waiting for bits and pieces to come from America. So it's built out of 2.5mm 25 RHS. So a fair bit of steel, but it's fairly heavy, but I sort of wanted to make it strong because we're on pretty bumpy roads. It's got 22-inch knobbies on the back and, I don't know, the sort of 19-inch quad bike tyres on the front. Front shocks are, I think I got them originally out of a TS185 Suzuki. I think they're 12 inches long or 10 inches long, but they're standard sort of buggy length shocks. The rack and pinion, that's out of a TD Cortina, which I've cut down. You can't see it under the boots, but I cut and shut one side to make it fit and then cut and welded the tie rods. The front hubs are, actually, believe it or not, I cut them off of the end of a trailer axle and then welded on tie rods out of the tie rod end thingies out of a, these bits down here, they're out of a, cut out the front of a Ford. Floor pans, I think about 1.6, just galvanised steel, which is probably reflecting a bit. What else? The seats out of a Mazda 323. That's it's a GX390 Honda clone, which is a 13 horsepower Honda stationary engine, but not actually a Honda. Obviously, it's a Chinese clone. I think it's about 300 Australian dollars delivered. Then you got what was a Comet style torque converter, but now they're made by GTC, so it's called a GTC TC2. Their website says it sort of can handle 8 to 13 horsepower, but we've discovered that's not really exactly true, probably more like 8 horsepower at the high end. So if you're building one of these, steer clear of the GX390 or the 13 horsepower, probably stick with an 8 at the top, because what we found is that the torque load on the belt can't really handle it. The torque converter is probably a bit small for this motor load, so I've just ordered a 80-tooth rear sprocket. At the moment it's got in here, there's it's got a 10-tooth front sprocket on the jack shaft and a 60-tooth sprocket on the axle, but we're going to give it an 80-tooth sprocket on the axle. That means that instead of having a top speed of about 65, it'll have a top speed of about 51. We're hoping that'll take some of the load off the torque converter to stop the belt slipping, because I'm destroying belts at a rate of, I don't know, tank and a half of fuel for a belt, and that's just getting fried. So there's that. The engine plate under the motor I made myself. It's just, I don't know if you can see them, but down there's slots where you can slide the motor back and forward to tension the chain. The throttle linkage is a bit tricky. You'll figure it out if you ever build one. I found it best to bypass most of the governor and take this fitting off here, which was originally up here. Well, and just, text and rivet it onto there and then directly drag on that front link. There you go. The Oki straps, don't even know why I put that's just pointless. Oh yeah, the rear brake under here, that's, you can just see that down there, that's down there, that's, I remember years ago we got that off a Morris 1100 or something. It's a drum brake off a Morris 1100, so it works quite comfortably off a cable. If you look down in there you can see it's cable driven, but I'm having a bit of a problem with the cable. Cable's a throttle cable and it's a bit too light, so I've just ordered a heavy duty brake cable from America. Like I said, the seat's out of a 323 Mazda and that's on the slide rail, so you can adjust that. Steering column's just all pretty basic, steering wheel's all pretty basic. Yeah, I suppose. So that's basically it. I don't really know how much it weighs, but I'll just walk around it one more time. Obviously we put a safety belt in just because sometimes kids drive and I don't want the damn thing hitting a tree and killing someone. So there you go, that's about it. I think all up the build cost, probably if you had to buy the whole lot, I've already built, this is remains of an old buggy which is over there. I'll walk over and show you. This is a buggy we built about 15 years ago. It's a Suzuki GSX250 motor, but it was always a piece of junk, so I scrapped it and built a new one using a stationary motor. It's much more convenient with the torque converter. But yeah, there you go. In a little minute I'll get my son out and shut up compressor. I'll get my son out and he can take it for a flog and you can see it in action. I don't know if this will be on the same YouTube video, but it'll probably be, if it just shows this walk around, just go to the thingy and you know how to find them and you'll see the thing in action. Pulls pretty hard. It's quite a lot of fun actually. So there you go. Can't think of anything else. The only most important thing is that if you build one of these, don't use GX390. It's too big. Just stick with an 8 horsepower. You'll find it'll go pretty much almost as hard, and it'll go almost as hard, but you'll have much better longevity in the belts. The belts won't get eaten out so quick. Alright, I'll stop this and get my son out and take it for a flog and you can see it in action. Bye for now.